covering the stories that impact your life, your town, your state, and your future. This is the Means Report with your host, Brad Means.
Hello, everybody, and welcome once again to the Means Report. We certainly appreciate you spending part of your day with us, where we have two great segments, if I do say so myself. Today, we're going to take a look at the ongoing effort to recover from Hurricane Helene. All these months have passed since, and the effort to get over it and to make ourselves better going forward continues. And then we're going to catch up with everything that's happening in Richmond County's 4th Commission District, as well as what's happening citywide. So pleased to welcome Commissioner Alvin Mason to the Means Report. So good show today for sure. And let's start with that hurricane recovery that I mentioned. Derek Dugan, who is normally the Development Director at the Salvation Army, is leading the effort to help us recover from Helene. Deke Copenhaver, 2.5-term mayor of Augusta, Georgia, also a key part of it as well. Derek, let me start with you and just help the viewers and help me understand how this long-term recovery committee even came about. Who thought of this? Or tell me how it started.
Well, I'm about 6 months ahead of everybody else in learning these things because it's relatively new to me as well.
Yeah.
But in the aftermath, right around the first of the year, Chief Burton, who headed a lot of the recovery efforts in the immediate aftermath of Helene, working with FEMA and then something I didn't know, GEMA, Georgia version of FEMA, requires that a community that is recovering from a natural disaster have something called a VOAD, has something called a long-term recovery committee, where it's not just recovering from the disaster itself, but if Helene were to happen again in 3 years, are we prepared? Have we evaluated our gaps during Helene and address them for the next disaster?
Yeah.
So the purpose of this committee is to identify gaps, develop a plan, and be ready for the next, hopefully it never happens again, but the eventuality of future disasters that hit our community.
Is it a Richmond County committee? Is it a city-sponsored committee?
It is not city-sponsored. This is an independent body, and that is very, very intentional.
Yeah.
It wants to reach out to the churches. It wants to reach out to
Who did
businesses.
this? Salvation Army? Who did it?
It's actually part of FEMA and specifically GEMA from a Georgia standpoint.
Gotcha.
Most communities, especially along the Savannah coast and the communities that traditionally get hit by hurricanes, have these in place. Augusta did not have these in place because we've never needed them.
Well,
but this is something we do need and should have had in place, but we are developing it now.
Former Mayor Copenhaver, does your ice storm experience help you? Do you bring that to the table?
Yes, I do bring that to the table, but 9 years in office, and in 20 years, I've developed strong working relationships and partnerships throughout the community in all sectors. And so this is our opportunity to really, to bring the community together and keep the community together like we were coming through the storm. But the great thing about this, Brad, is everybody we're asking to get involved with this. It's not just, okay, hey, I'll do it. People are excited. And they said that is the greatest moment for our city, the way that we pulled together coming through the storm, which is beautiful.
No, it really was impressive to see everybody unite for that period and to get through it. No power, no water, you name it. And we all just sort of hung in there. So what are you going to be doing day to day, Derek? I know your answer could probably take the rest of this segment, but just generally, are you making sure all the debris really is picked up? Are you making sure that our trees are stronger for the next storm? What are you doing?
Well, debris pickup is part of what the committee will address, but this is primarily focused on the gaps. And I'll give you a specific example. I received in my Salvation Army position multiple calls during Helene looking for places that people could plug in their oxygen tanks. Yeah. Looking for sources of things that weren't directly tied to Helene, but promoted the survival of the community. Those are the gaps that Deke and myself and the rest of the people involved with this committee are going to be seeking for these examples from every segment of the community in every corner of Richmond County, and finding out what those gaps are, soliciting the funding to address them, and make sure if Helene were to happen again, is there a power station regionally located that those people can plug in their oxygen tanks. Just one example of many, many things that need to be addressed.
Yeah, that's a great point. Will there be the power station in the future? It'd be wonderful to have a convenient one or two or three, scattered around so we could plug in. You told me that people are willing to serve. They want
Absolutely.
to serve. Is there an age range? Is there a group that you're excited to see on board?
Very much so. We are actively engaging the younger generation of Augustans. We did that in the Augusta Stronger Together campaign, and trying to bring them together on common ground to be a part of something that's larger than themselves, and invite them in to help shape the future of our community, because there's an epidemic of loneliness, depression, addiction, and that age range is being hit the hardest by that. So to engage them to work together to form a better community, and something that I think that's very important for us to engage that next generation.
What about you, Derek? Who would you like to see, if someone's watching right now, who would you like to see serve on this committee or help you all with your efforts? You mentioned the young people, and you're right, that's so key. Anybody else who's watching who might be qualified?
Everybody is qualified. Everybody was affected by Helene. Everybody has an opinion on what was missing in their day-to-day needs. It might have been easy access to chainsaws. Those are the type of things that are addressed with the community. So any business organization, any professional organization, any geographic organization, there's 302 square miles in Richmond County. We need to reach everybody in every corner. Deke has brought up the Spanish-speaking community needs to get a specific outreach.
Yeah.
Every segment of the community, we need to have their voices heard so we can get a true picture. This needs to be data-driven, not personality-driven or agenda-driven.
How long are y'all going to meet, and how will you know when you've achieved your goals? Is this a permanent committee? Do you know yet? I know it's early.
No, it should be a permanent committee.
Okay.
As Derek mentioned, in other cities, other communities, it is. And we did not expect to take a direct hit from a hurricane, but you never know what's going to happen in the future, whether it's the ice storm when I was in office. So we need to be better prepared, and we will be. This will be an ongoing effort, and I just want people to know you have not been forgotten about. We've got people, my neighborhood looks almost back to normal. There are still people whose lives have been devastated with trees on their houses.
Yeah.
There's still this great need. So this committee will be ongoing for this, foreseeable future.
Derek, let me ask you this. I tell people that I dread another hurricane. I'm sure y'all say the same thing. Please don't let another storm hit us. But then I say, wait a minute. We do sort of now have a template that we know how to follow to get through it. If this committee is successful, and I'm sure it will be, are you picturing the next time a disaster strikes that we have more than a template, that we almost seamlessly can navigate everything post-disaster because of what y'all have done?
I mean, that would obviously be the dream, but I don't think we could anticipate every scenario. Everything that we're going to be looking for on this is to anticipate those scenarios. Like Deke said, the purpose of this is to prop up an organization that's going to exist long beyond us, but a unification of this community so we are able to communicate with every segment of our community. We can reach everybody and make sure that those needs are addressed next time. There were so many stories I could go on for hours and hours about what the Salvation Army working with the Red Cross and the hub, what we saw and what we felt. And that's only one segment of what the entire community saw. So in a perfect world, this organization exists 5, 10, 20 years from now, passing on from generation to generation, and we are prepared and constantly evaluating as well.
This kind of just falls under your lifelong mantra, which is just, can't we all get along? I mean, isn't this just your dream scenario that we unite?
This is my dream scenario. So, about a month ago, I was thinking, Lord, what do you want me to do in all this? And he's like, just do the work I've given you. And so this is a continuation of what I've been working on for decades. But last week I had a PET scan, 24 months cancer-free.
Praise God.
So I am all about this, and I am so glad that I've been given by this committee the opportunity to focus on bringing the community together and keeping us together.
All right, Derek, forgive me for straying from the long-term Helene Recovery Committee talk. I have a minute left, and I want to ask you, my wife on the way to the Means Report said, make sure you ask Deke this, and I'll ask Commissioner Mason as well. What can we do about the Bon Air? That is such a gem And it is just so sad what we're witnessing. How can we make that great again?
It is so unfortunate that the owner is not local.
Yeah.
It's Section 8, and so they're getting this government stipend. But I've spoke to the mayor the other day, and he said they were in a meeting with the owner, and there was a group that wanted to buy it locally, but he said, I will never let it go and not be used for taking care of the people that are there. And which is unfortunate, because as we've done with, mixed income housing, you could move people to better accommodations, but as long as you've got an absentee owner that is not willing to even listen to anything, it's a tough thing to deal with.
All right, well, we'll just kind of keep our fingers crossed that we see improvements there. But did you have one more thing you wanted to say?
Yes.
Okay, I thought I saw you making a move. All right, about 15 seconds, honestly.
For people who have needs right now, there will be a graphic on the screen, I hope.
Yeah.
For anybody who has needs to report their address, if there's a tree on their home, if they're still struggling with rebuilding, if they're struggling with expenses, we do have resources for that now, working through the North Georgia United Methodist Church, and all their coalitions are looking for projects and rebuilding now.
Okay,
and that
good.
is a resource that we will have available as well.
Yeah, we'll put that information on the screen and make sure that people can access it and reach out to y'all if needed. Derek and Deke, thank you for what you're doing for our community.
Absolutely.
And I appreciate it so much, your time, for sure.
Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
Always a pleasure to be with you.
Yeah, I love having you back, man. Good to see both of y'all again. When we come back, Commissioner Alvin Mason, representing the 4th District, he'll update us on what's going on in his part of this community, as well as the overall Augusta area, what we can expect going forward on the Means Report.